Okay, so let's talk Starbucks. This is not necessarily the week, but every single week, it seems like Starbucks workers, or Howard Schultz, their CEO, is making headlines, making waves. So this is the company that used to be lauded for paying a whopping like $9 an hour, and then you get a free frappuccino every shift or whatever the fuck. And now, of course, they've fallen woefully behind. So in 2021, Starbucks stores in upstate New York filed an election petitions with the NLRB. And since then, 250 other Starbucks stores have done the same, and about 40 have been successful in unionizing. And they've inspired workers across the country in all sectors. Union petitions are up 57% in the first half of 2022. This is just give you a sense. This is from the NLRB itself. Starbucks workers 2021, first three Starbucks franchises filed petitions. Okay, not that much activity, but then you've got another one in December and in Buffalo. And then look, January, February, March, April, just the number of petitions go crazy. They have definitely inspired workers across this country, all sectors. And remember, just 6% of private sector workers in this country are unionized at all. And I want to show you in who is seeking to unionize in this country. So you could see 2012 versus 2022. This is also another graphic from the NLRB. And you've got accommodation and food services where I believe Starbucks would fall under, going up to, as we said, 27.5%, from 3.8% in 2012 to 27.5%. And then retail is huge, art and entertainment and recreation and education services. So needless to say, they have had an impact. And of course, that is scaring Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz. And I want to go to him right now to let him have his say. Here he is in a leaked, I don't even know if this is leaked, but he's speaking to his own Starbucks workers about outside forces who are trying to threaten the company. Take a look.
And the challenges are multiple. The pandemic, a post-pandemic customer, the relationship we have with our customers, competitive threats, and now a new outside force that's trying desperately to disrupt our company. Well, I believe in Starbucks more than ever because I believe in all of you. My faith and confidence in the future of Starbucks is based on my faith and confidence in you, not some outside force that's going to dictate or disrupt what we are and who we are and what we do.
Cute. Kim says thumbs down.
Yeah. Oh, I'm also against him. For the record. I mean, I wanted health care and reasonable time off and a fair wage until I heard he had faith in me.
Yeah,
now
I'm like,
that's all I need is his faith in me.
Every time this man speaks, another baby union gets its wings. Like, honestly.
Yes. Oh my
God. If that guy's telling you that you don't need something, like, what is it? Oh, okay. We should look into this then. Clearly, if this guy thinks that we shouldn't do this, like, this guy looks like my shitty stepdad. Fuck that guy. Fuck this guy. Like, why would you trust something like that?
Yeah, the graph.
No, absolutely.
The graph of Starbucks' unionizing is directly proportional to the amount of time he speaks in public on camera.
Yeah, they saw him try to run for office in 2020, and as soon as this shit is over, fuck this guy.
He clearly has too much money.
He has way too much money.
If you have time to clean, you have time to clean, man. Like, get behind the counter and do some real work.
That's right. Hell yeah.
But see, that's an interesting question, Kim, because you would think that something more convincing would be like, do a politician's tack, which is like, yeah, here I am. I'm working a shift at Starbucks myself. I'm not that tired. Like, it's so easy to be a bad propaganda. I guess it's for me, I'm like, why don't you try like better propaganda? Not this like insanely stale, him being like the outsiders. We've heard that talk for forever.
Since 1866 at least.
There was literally a show that was just that propaganda, Undercover Boss, where like it just was like, look how down to earth our CEO is.
They tried that in Buffalo. they tried that in Buffalo earlier on. I remember because some of those workers were tweeting through it, just like, what is this random like mid-level manager coming in and mopping the floor for? Like, we don't need them to do that. They're not very good at it. Like, what is this
Right.
supposed to signal to us?
The
It's
mop's
easier
got
than
like all these cameras in it and shit, like dooby dooby doo.
yeah, it's easier than spotting a cop at a protest. It's like
Right,
Totally.
like you must be
like
lost.
who's the new guy? He
This is
seems
the
really
kneeling
happy.
equivalent. It's definitely like a cop kneeling at a BLM march. But yeah, thoughts, Kim, on, I mean, Starbucks, which is, you know, even now, the far right thinks Starbucks is some emblem of like liberal thought. You know, Tucker Carlson used to say, oh, when Biden is elected, you're going to be forced to drink Starbucks. Like, what the fuck? You know? And everything but, right? And you'd think they'd respond differently, but they have fired workers. And thanks to the NLRB director, basically in Arizona said, no. They filed an injunction on behalf of the 3 workers who were fired in that franchise, and they said you have to reinstate them. So yeah, I mean, thoughts on
And they claimed what? Starbucks, I read that art. They claimed that you sent. They claimed like, no, they just walked out. There's like
they were being insubordinate, you know, and
insubordination. Right. That's the blanket excuse that
the blonde roast is never tossed at the end of the day. It's always mixed in with, you know, the dark for the next day, and that's basic.
As my dad used to say, you never toss the blonde. It's a fine company we got here. Fucking creepy old man. I get more mad when it's a creepy old man who's trying to pass as a nerd, like this guy. Yeah, just be a creepy old man. Don't try to be like a likable nerd too.
Honestly, just go be rich and leave us alone. Why are you still even going to the office? Go sit somewhere and be rich.
Because nothing's enough. There's never enough money for them. There's never enough attention for them.
It's like they want to be cool and they want to be loved and they want to have all the money and treat us like garbage. It's like, well, you have to pick one. You can't catch them all, sweetheart. Like,
oh my god,
yeah,
I
can't be George Clooney.
You know?
George Clooney could exploit me any day. But that being said, do you see? I mean, I know that Kim, your book looked into, and we're going to talk about it more specifically. But it looked through history and all the different sectors that like mobilized and obviously made history, made waves, and who we have to thank for the labor protections that we have today. But in terms of like retail, what does that say to you, and service workers? What does that say to you about like the economy and the moment that we're in right now?
I think one of the reasons that there's been so much public support and interest in the Starbucks Workers United organizing wave is that like most people know what Starbucks is, right? Like how most people know what Amazon is. They've woven themselves into the fabric of our lives, for better or worse. And a lot of union fights and labor struggles and conflicts happen. It takes a little bit more work to find out about them, right? Like people don't necessarily know about the Teamsters going on strike in Seattle. They don't necessarily know about coal miners on strike in Alabama. But if there's some shit going on at their local Starbucks and they're trying to get their latte, like, oh, they're going to pay attention. And like going back to that graph you showed, just the workers in these very public facing jobs that people sort of potentially see as more human. There's a little more empathy there potentially, unless they're the reason that workers are quitting these jobs. Because nobody can behave themselves in this country.
And it takes a lot to say to a customer. I mean, shit, we've been really good at it, as we've seen from the multiple like Karen and Kevin videos or whatever. But like, you know, to say to a customer, this person who is working through a pandemic, who's working hard to get you your non-fat latte, half calf, blah blah blah, like that they are undeserving of a raise, or that they, I think it's just very different.
I think folks are taking inspiration from the fact that like most people know, like, okay, Starbucks is huge, they're everywhere, they probably have a lot of money, and if these people who are delivering me my daily frappuccino or whatever, they're standing up against them, and it seems like they're kind of winning. Like that's very interesting. Maybe that means that I could talk to my boss. I could talk to my coworkers. Like if they can go up against this like wildly rich billionaire who has stores everywhere in the world and probably on Mars already, like maybe that means I can do something too. I think hope we're gonna see more people looking at this example and looking at what's happening with Amazon, these massive corporations, and think like, okay, like if they can do it, why can't I? And I hope, I hope so. I think so. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to go to this from, this is from today. Starbucks workers drive nationwide surge in union organizing. And I think, Kim, you're exactly right. Like, basically every single Starbucks franchise has now turned into a franchise where you could talk about labor rights, like where you could talk about unions.
Mhm.
They fucking did that to themselves. And so anyway, we said that 27.5% of all union election petitions is coming from the food services industry. And a small number of independently owned coffee houses in cities like Minneapolis, Philadelphia, and Nashville are joining hundreds of Starbucks locations around the country in seeking union representation. So that's great that, like, you know, I don't know, Coffee Beans jumping in there, maybe not. Who else? Who else we got?
Yeah, good karma here in
Pete's?
Philly. They've been out
Pete's,
here
we're coming for your ass.
Where you at, Pete's?
Say that again, Kim. We were making dumb
Sorry.
jokes.
I would just say that, yeah, like the works of good karma here in Philly, a small locally smokable coffee chain. Like they've been kind of hand in hand with the Starbucks workers. Like there's a whole little movement brewing, if you will, here in Philly.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.